Good afternoon, class. I am Garrett Crawford. I am a sophomore at Liberty University, and I am a residential student here. I am from Annapolis, Maryland. Well, actually, a little to the east of Annapolis, Maryland. So I'm about 10 minutes away from Annapolis, and about 20 minutes away from Baltimore, and about 30 to 40 minutes away from DC. So I'm kind of right, sort of in the middle of those three cities. But the story that I'm going to talk to you about today happened a few years ago. It happened in my sophomore year of high school, so exactly 4 years ago. Well, it was the summer right after my sophomore year. So, just as a little bit of background to the story, I had kind of been going to this summer camp with, it was like a father-son camp, so I'd been going that with my dad for a few years. And it came to the point where I was like too old to do the camp, and I really wanted to be on staff at the camp. But one of the requirements to be on staff at the camp was that you had to go through this 3-week boot camp type deal. So I ended up signing up for it. I was really nervous, but my parents encouraged me to sign up for it. So I went ahead with it, and the camp itself, the boot camp portion of the camp is called SALT, which stands for Servant and Leadership Training. So it's essentially meant to push you to the limits so that you draw closer to God as a result. So I went through, and the summer after my sophomore year, I went to the camp, and I was there to do SALT, and I was very nervous when I initially got there. And the way that SALT is broken up is there's 3 stages to it. The first stage is kind of like the breaking down stage, and the second one is kind of like your service stage, and the third stage is leadership. And it was really, really difficult, and it was really, really tough, and at times I was really demotivated, but in the end I really learned a lot, and I grew a lot closer to God as a result. But even more so than that, I found that experience that I went through that summer after my sophomore year was really God setting me up for last summer, this past summer, where I did Army basic training. So I found that this whole experience that I had no idea, it was tough, and I really wanted to do staff, but I had no idea that experience, my summer after my sophomore year, was going to affect me when I was after my freshman year in college, when kind of the same sort of stuff was happening to me, but this time the Army was doing it. And it was really encouraging to be able to have that experience of calling out to God for His help and His guidance in those really tough moments when you don't want to keep going, and when it's physically and mentally and spiritually draining. But it was really kind of interesting to see all that come to pass, where God kind of trained me and built me up here so that I could do well here. And it was really encouraging, and I was just taken aback looking back at it, at how awesome God's plans are compared to our own.